We got some more updates on the Shohei Ohtani front, and the Toronto Blue Jays are now voted as finalists yet again. We thought it would be another 5 or 6 team race here, but the Blue Jays and Dodgers, it is coming down to the wire between them, and the Jays reportedly met with Shohei Ohtani at their Florida complex. So we'll break that down and much more on this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. Now, obviously, we have believed that the Blue Jays have been in the mix the entire time. We believe that it's a real possibility that Shohei Ohtani could become a Blue Jay within the next few days or within a week, let's say. But we didn't have any information on whether or not they met with him, whether or not their interactions were positive, or whether or not Shohei Ohtani was reciprocating that interest from the Toronto Blue Jays. But now we gotten word that they met yesterday, or whenever they did, at their Florida complex in Dunedin with Ross Atkins, Mark Shapiro, and everybody else involved. So things are starting to move forward here. It seems like we're in the home stretch of these negotiations. Still doesn't know where he's going to sign yet, or maybe he does, and we're just not privy to that information. But it looks like a two-team race yet again between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, and it seems that the Blue Jays made a pretty good impression on Shohei.
The reports are starting to come out, and almost all of them have to do with the Blue Jays, so stay tuned for all those. Before you get into that, a quick reminder, hit the subscribe button. We're approaching 11,000, so scroll down if you're not subscribed, hit that, and thank you guys for your support on our stream yesterday especially. All right, Peter, we have a lot to get into. Obviously, yesterday, the Ross Atkins press conference interview happened, and he was from places unknown, just like you in some videos. He was from places unknown, and no one knew where he was, and then it leaked, or it got dropped. It wasn't really a leak, from Ken Rosenthal late last night, and this was what he had to say. In the clearest sign yet of the Blue Jays' interest in Shohei Ohtani, club officials are believed to have met Monday with the Japanese superstar, and with a timetable not known, the meeting would indicate that negotiations are entering the final stages. And this was a bit of an exciting one. It says, for Ohtani, whose trademarks include an intense focus on preparation, basically goes on to praise the Jays spring training facility. Now, Peter, this is good news. A lot of people are worried about the leaking and things like that. I think it's come to a consensus now that the Jays weren't the ones who leaked this, because Ken Rosenthal was going on to say that it's believed. This wasn't fully confirmed. But regardless of that, Peter, I'm just going to throw this in really quickly. This just dropped 1 minute ago as of the time of recording from John Heyman. Ohtani told some folks he knows before his probable Jays Florida visit that he has had positive feelings about Toronto. Don't discount the Jays. So that's an absolute bomb that just dropped literally as I was about to hit record. So I just threw that in there. That's why the screenshot's a bit off. What are your thoughts on this stuff? It's wild. The Jays are in it. I'm starting to believe more than I ever have. I think we might get them.
You should believe, and we may not get him, but there's definitely a good chance that it happens. And we've been harping on this the entire time, Nick, that the Blue Jays have a very attractive scenario that they could offer to Shohei Ohtani. And those scenarios are that they're one piece away. They're one superstar hitter away from being true contenders, because the pitching staff is top 5 in baseball. The bullpen was one of the best around the MLB last year, and all the pieces are in place. The pressure is not on Shohei Ohtani here. He just has to come in and do what he's been doing for the past couple of years. I know it's easier said than done, but he's been getting better and better and better as a hitter every year here. So I'm sure he can keep up that offensive production, especially if that's all he's being asked to do. He's not being asked to pitch here. So the Jays have the pieces in place for them to have a very successful season with the addition of Shohei Ohtani. Another positive that we've been touching on here, Nick, too, is that he adds a third country to his marketability. He's a king in Japan. He's taken over the United States ever since he came over here in Major League Baseball, and now he's got the opportunity to play in front of a packed Rogers Center every night. He's got an opportunity to encapsulate an entire Canadian fan base, and you know how we get when teams are good here, Nick. We get behind them, and we rally behind them, and from coast to coast, whether you're in Newfoundland or Vancouver, you're rooting for the Jays because you want to see something special happen on your home soil. So there's a lot of great possibilities here that could happen. There's a lot of attractive characteristics that the Blue Jays can offer to Ohtani, and I think there's a great chance that they get him. I don't know. It's so much fun to to have that sentence come out of my mouth. There's a good possibility that the Jays get Ohtani.
I'm enjoying my Jays offseason life right now. And just a quick, we have a few more reports to go over. Peter, this is the first, I would say, big indication that there is mutual interest between the teams, because obviously we've heard about how the Jays are pursuing them and how there is interest. But this is the first time that we have a report that they met. And again, I wouldn't worry too much about the leaking stuff. But again, this just dropped. Take that as you will. He also had to say about the Dodgers to a degree. But Peter, I don't know. I feel like I haven't heard much about the Dodgers, which is either a very good thing or a very bad thing if you were a Jays fan, because all the smoke is around the Blue Jays, and I think that might be because of how they came out of nowhere. I have a bunch of just rapid-fire reports here to kind of sum up some more stuff. So Keegan Matheson, Blue Jays writer, said this is getting very real for the Blue Jays right now. That was on a radio show. And then this was also on Ben Nicholson-Smith's article yesterday. The last paragraph is interesting. This was before it was revealed where Atkins was, but it was about his press conference. Those are words, I'm not going to read that whole part, but this is uncharted territory for the Blue Jays in every single way imaginable. And Peter, I don't know a better way to say it, because it absolutely is uncharted territory for the Blue Jays. I did not expect this to happen. A week ago today, the Jays were plus 2,500, or a couple weeks ago, and now they're all the way up to plus 175 if you're a betting person. And one quick final article I'll throw up, and I'll let you take the floor here. This dropped. It's circumstantial evidence points to the possibility that Shohei might be advancing in conversations, and I'm not going to go into the full article. Essentially, you can pause and watch. It's going based on the fact that the Ohtani's agent wasn't at the winter meetings in Nashville or wherever it is. Ross Atkins wasn't. John Schneider wasn't. So, Peter, ultimately yesterday, Ohtani met with the Blue Jays. I think the timeline lines up, and maybe that means they're in the final stretch of negotiations, but there's also reports coming out that Ohtani might be going back to the for Dodgers for a meeting today. So it's all speculation at this point, but it seems the Jays and Dodgers are the finalists according to multiple reports, some which are more creditable than others.
Yeah, I think we're not really hearing much about the Dodgers just because of where we are, Nick, and our algorithm is catering to us as well. So I'm sure Dodger fans are going just as nuts. But you said this was uncharted territory for the Blue Jays. This is uncharted territory for every team that are involved in these sweepstakes for Shohei Ohtani. We've never seen a player of this caliber hit the open market in Major League Baseball. We've never seen every single team, but besides maybe Oakland, have a chance to get a player of this caliber. And it's crazy. It's crazy to think that this guy is available to all teams, and he ultimately chooses where he wants to go. He was available the first time when he came out of Japan, but he was nowhere near the player he was then that he is today. So I mean, this is insane. He's going to get so much money. We don't know from who, but he's going to get paid big time. And this is uncharted territory. No one's ever given a contract bigger than $400 million in Major League Baseball. And Ohtani's set to shatter that. He will shatter that total. And the Jays are right in the mix. You got to believe they're one of the richest organizations in the sport, so they have a chance here.
Yeah, and that segues into the final screenshot of the video here. On MLB Radio, an insider was talking about how the Jays might offer 12,600. So digest that figure a little bit. 12 years, 600 million. Now again, we've been speaking about this a lot. There's going to be a plethora of opt-outs within that contract, we can almost guarantee. And now the question is, I don't know, Peter. The Jays were left a great impression on Shohei Ohtani compared to everyone else. And overall, I'm just excited to see it happening. I'm hoping that the Jays, I suspect news is going to happen within the next 24 to 48 hours. We'll probably get some more news today, so stay tuned for all that. But thank you guys for watching. And if you want to check out our video from yesterday, click on your screen right now.